There's no official date yet for election in Jamaica, but things are heating up in Jamaica very fast. And if this is any indication of what is to come, I would say this election could get ugly. So what is happening now, we see the opposition party, the People's National Party, they have a protest against the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister told his people to have a counter protest. So the PMP and the JLP protesting. So this could get really ugly. So let's talk about it. So why did the opposition leader Mark Golding of the People's National Party decided to have a protest against the Prime Minister of Jamaica? And why did the Prime Minister of Jamaica decided to have a counter protest? So this, to get a better understanding, we'll take this report coming out of Jamaica from TVJ News. So let's take a look and we'll talk about it.
Now, as you can hear from the singing and the shouting behind me, these people are here this morning. A lot of PNP supporters, hundreds of supporters, in fact, have been here since 9 o'clock this morning at Heroes Circle, right across from the Ministry of Finance. And they say they're appealing for the end to corruption in the country, as well as they want the Prime Minister to rescind the appointment of Dennis Chung to the Financial Investigations Division. And this is what some of the people had to say.
Enough corruption, man. We cannot take no more of this Angel-led corrupt administration. It is too much on the Jamaican poor people now.
We are gathering here today to state to the Jamaican people, we do not support this. We stand against this. Time come for good governance in the country. Time come for a government that is above board. Time come for a new government that the people can have trust and confidence in.
So that was the People's National Party led protest by Heroes Circle in front of the Ministry of Finance building. And why is this protest, and why are they protesting the appointment of Dennis Chung? So to give you more of an idea of what this protest is all about, I'm just going to break it down and give you a little bit of information about what is really going on. So this is Dennis Chung, the man that is responsible for the protest that the opposition leader launched on the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And this is because of Dennis Chung's appointment to the Financial Investigation Division in Jamaica. And Dennis Chung was the head of finance of the Jamaica Football Federation. He dealt with the finances of the JFF. And he recently wrapped up a 2 years contract with the JFF. So the allegations are that what the opposition leader is saying is that Dennis Chung is a friend of the Jamaica Labour Party, and putting Dennis Chung in charge of the Financial Investigation Division, that would be pretty much like collusion, like anything to do with the investigation of the Prime Minister's finances could just be shoved under the carpet, because the Prime Minister of Jamaica have been looked into by the Integrity Commission about some finances, some discrepancies in his finances in terms of accounts and businesses that the Prime Minister is involved with. So the opposition leader is saying that you cannot appoint a friend of the Jamaica Labour Party, an alleged friend of the Prime Minister, to investigate the Prime Minister. Okay, so now you have an idea of what this protest is all about. Then let us take a look at what the opposition leader, Mark Golding, had to say in his speech at the National Heroes Circle.
The Prime Minister has problems. The Integrity Commission has investigated him, and they are not satisfied with their findings. They have not been able to certify his annual declarations as being in good order. They have referred the matter for further investigation to the Financial Investigations Division, a critical law enforcement investigative agency. There is a whole lot of issues at stake. There's a question of the 28 bank accounts. There's a question of the cash deposits from anonymous sources to his bank account of millions of dollars. There is over $470 million of flows moving between his various accounts in many thousands of transactions. There's the fact that his companies which are involved in those transactions file nil returns with the tax department. And there is the fact that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit entity that goes out and solicits donations for worthy causes, which is under his control, provided resources to his personal company to make financial investments on his behalf. All of these are serious allegations. And these are matters which the person who they have just appointed to head the FID, the Financial Investigations Division, has said there's nothing untoward or wrong. You cannot have a man who's defending the person under investigation being put in charge of the agency that is tasked with doing the investigation. There's a clear conflict of interest. There is manifest bias. And furthermore, the very requirements for the post were deliberately watered down so as to facilitate the outcome of his appointment. Jamaica must stand against this erosion of good governance, this defilement of principle. And that is why we're gathering here today to state to the Jamaican people, we do not support this. We stand against this. Time come for good governance in the country. Time come for a government that is above board. Time come for a new government that the people can have trust and confidence in, that can rescue Jamaica from the corruption and the mire of bad governance in which Jamaica is now enmeshed. Only the People's National Party can do that. Under my leadership, and I plan to deliver that for the people of Jamaica so we can move forward and address the very real issues that our people are facing. Issues of the cost of living and the struggle for survival. The poor nutrition represented by the food insecurity of 55% of our people. The school system failing our students, where over 30% of our students leave primary school illiterate, unable to do basic arithmetic. And the housing crisis, where there's a huge unmet demand for affordable housing in the country, when the government has for the last 10 years been taking $11.4 billion every year out of the National Housing Trust, depleting it of resources with which to provide affordable housing for the people. These are all issues that we are focused on and that we have plans to solve for the Jamaican people. But ethical government, honest government, government in which the people can have trust, must be at the center of the delivery of those programs and solutions. And this Dennis Chung situation is symptomatic of the erosion and corruption of governance in this country. And that is why we are standing here today to register our peaceful protest. It is nothing to do with bad mind. It is good mind at play. Good mind supporting good governance. Good mind fighting against corruption. Good mind standing against conflicts of interest. Good mind standing against cronyism and nepotism. And for the Prime Minister to call upon his supporters to protest today against bad mind was a new low in the governance of this country and reflects the desperation that he feels because he knows that the people of Jamaica have had enough of this government under his leadership and they want change. And we will deliver change.
Okay, so that was Mark Golding, opposition leader and leader of the People's National Party. So sound off in the comment section and let me know of all the things that you have heard Mark Golding said, and if you have been following the news with what's been going on with the Integrity Commission in Jamaica as it pertains to the Prime Minister. Do you believe that this protest is justified? Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on that. And secondly, do you think that because this is a protest that is led by the People's National Party, that people are not going to really take it serious. If it's all about corruption and another group or concerned Jamaican took it up and they protest against the appointment of Chung, would that have been a better idea than for it to be politicized? Sound off and let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section. And now we're going to take a look at the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, and his response to everything that's going on in terms of what the opposition leader is calling out, and Andrew Holness decided that he's going to respond. And as I said, it's political season, and if this is any indication of what is going to come when the election is called, things could get ugly. So this is Dr. Andrew Holness.
Now, if you can't tackle achievements and you can't tackle the fundamental that the government is fear, if you can't tackle policy, then what you start to tackle? What you start to attack? You start to attack people. And we have seen a dangerous trend emerging where people who are giving stellar public service, people who have achieved great things for this country, they are being hauled into the political arena. Now, it's one thing to attack me, as I said, my constitution strong. I rope a dope. Yeah, I take the lick and I move and I go again. But believe me, one day, that knockout punch is coming. So you keep your guard up, you protect yourself, and you move, and you keep moving. You keep moving. Now, I have seen several instances where people who have given stellar public service has been hauled into the political arena and their character assassinated, their integrity trampled. And you can only conclude is that they do so because they have bad mind. But you have to understand what we're dealing with. The PNP believes that they have a title for Jamaica. They believe they own Jamaica and all its institutions. They believe that they must be in control of all institutions of Jamaica. And they say, well, the GLP might be in government, but the PNP is always in power. That is what a PNP tell me. That gives you an insight into how they think and how far they will go to corrupt the institutions of government to maintain the power that they believe they have over this country. I know what I am saying is irking some of them. They are screaming in their seat right now. But I will talk the truth to the Jamaican people as I have always done. And what I am saying is not a lie. It is not of my own making. This is substantiated by fact. For those who are quick to criticize, just go and read your history and look up something called the Pickersgill Committee and why that was set up. I see some people asking, what is that? It's a simple thing. Go on Google, better yet, just type that into ChatGPT. Yes, man, it's the information age. Don't take what I said. Yeah, man, go and study it. Get the knowledge, man. That is how they think. That is their philosophy. I share the part briefly. A man come to me one time with a book. He wrote a book, and I don't want to go into too much detail. But in the book, I was then leader of the opposition. And in the book, he was trying to put forward this view that, you know, Bustamante should never have led Jamaica as Prime Minister. That it was the PNP that was established to be the state authority. And because Buster decided that he would form his own political party, he was of the view that Buster betrayed some kind of understanding. That's how they think. And so it's not a surprise to me, because it is their DNA that they will go to any lengths to destroy people who they believe that they have no control over the institutions that they are appointed to run. Any lengths, including to try to bully the government, to break the rules of appointment to suit them.
Okay, so what are my thoughts on this? So I understand the protest. I understand why the opposition leader would seize this opportunity to want to go and protest. As I said, it's political season, and this is a perfect opportunity for the opposition leader to seize on something that could put a dent in the Prime Minister's run for re-election. So I understand why he would do that, but is it a good idea? I think it's not a good idea for the opposition to do it, because, as I said, this would just become politicized and become a PMP versus JLP instead of like concerned Jamaicans that are worried about corruption, because Jamaicans have the right to be concerned about corruption. We have had corruption in Jamaica for decades, from Jamaica being independent, like corruption back and forth. Both parties are guilty of it. So for the Prime Minister's name to be mixed up in a lot of back and forth in terms of the Integrity Commission, I believe that the Jamaican people have a right to be concerned about the appointment, because people are saying that there's a link, right? There's a link between who's been appointed is linked to the Jamaica Labour Party. So if anything would come up, then he could just sweep it under the carpet. So Jamaicans have a right to be concerned. But my thing is that politicizing this is just going to take away from the validity of it, because everybody's just going to get in political, tribal mood, and the island is just going to be split between JLP and PMP, and no longer Jamaicans that are concerned about corruption. Because the Integrity Commission was formed out of to stem corruption. And I personally know people that work with the government that every year they have a hard time. They have to file every money that they spend. If you buy a new car, you purchase a house, you have to give source of every single income that comes into your account and that you purchase, any big purchase that you make. And those are government workers, whether you are a police officer, whether you work in any one of those government buildings, that you would have access to money, or you could be involved in any type of corruption. So that the Integrity Commission is a big deal. It's a blessing for Jamaica to stem corruption. So I understand why people would be interested in that. And I think that the Prime Minister should just allow things to take its course. And as I said, the appointment, if Chung is linked to the Jamaica Labour Party, then that should not be he should not be appointed to that position, because then that would compromise the Integrity Commission and everything. And I know that the Jamaica Labour Party, they have been in similar on the opposition side, where they would have pushed back on the PMP appointing like someone that's close to them. So I understand why Jamaicans should be worried about this appointment. So guys, that's just my 2 cents. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know if you think otherwise. Do you think that this should be a problem? His appointment should be a problem? Or do you think that this is just being politicized and that regular everyday Jamaicans that have a concern with this appointment should not be concerned? Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.